Hello everyone! In this video we are going to talk about text types and structures. My name is Moisés Baeza.
And my name is Javiera Torres.
The first text that we are going to analyze is an expository text from The Guardian, which is a news article. Its title is Why Hurricane Beryl Foretells a Scary Storm Season. The text talks about the characteristics of Hurricane Beryl, a storm that occurs in the Atlantic Basin. The main characteristics of expository texts are that they give information about a topic and they explain how something works.
First, we are going to analyze the scaffolding, which consists of a general opening statement in the first paragraph. It gives an idea to the reader of what the text is about. In this case, the topic sentence suggests that the rapid growth of Hurricane Beryl indicates that the upcoming season will be alarming. Furthermore, this text is divided into paragraphs. Each one of them contains a topic sentence and provides more information about the subject. In this paragraph, the topic sentence, Beryl smashed multiple records even before its major hurricane-level winds approached land, talks about how the hurricane broke several records before its winds reached the strengths of a more critical storm. Each paragraph contains technical language related to the topic. In this case, some of the words mentioned were troposphere, trade winds, and thunderstorms. At last, this text contains a concluding paragraph at the end of it that summarizes the article and its main ideas.
Now, we'll see the main grammatical features of this text. First, we have complex sentences. They have an independent clause and a dependent clause. In this case, the independent clause is, it made landfall Monday on the island of Caracu with winds of up to 150 miles per hour. And the dependent clause is, and is expected to plow through the island of the Southeast Caribbean, as it cannot stand alone, unlike the independent clause. Next, we have active voice, which was the most used form throughout this article. In active voice, the focus is on who or what is performing the action. In this case, the focus is on the forecasters who predicted it was going to be a nasty year, and they who are comparing this year to record BC 1933 and deadly 2005.
Now, regarding the recurrence rules, we have repetition. It is the reiteration of a word throughout the text. In this case, the word Beryl, which is the name of the hurricane, is repeated several times. Second, we have co-reference, which is the use of two linguistic expressions to refer to an element previously mentioned. In this case, the year refers to 2005. Next, anaphoric procedures. It is a mechanism used to establish and maintain coherence within a text, and it helps link different parts of a text together. In this example, it is used instead of climate change as an anaphoric reference. Lastly, we have lexical substitution. It is the substitution of one element for another, usually synonyms, hypernyms, or hyponyms. In this example, storm is used as a synonym of the Beryl hurricane.
Now, we are going to talk about the progression patterns, which in this case is the constant thematic progression. In this progression pattern, the item is in the theme of the first clause is also selected as the theme of the following clauses, and the theme is always the same. Rhymes provide new information in the form of different predicates. In this example, it, which is the Hurricane Beryl, is the theme, and the realm is strengthened to a category 5 late Monday because it provides new information about the subject.
Regarding connectivity rules, this text contains the use of subordinators such as after, which indicates time. Then, we have the use of coordinators in this text. In this example, also is used as an additive coordinator. Now, we're going to analyze the novel called 13 Reasons Why by J. Asher. This text corresponds to a narrative text whose purpose is to tell a story. This story can be fictional or non-fictional, and it is organized in sequence of events and time.
Scaffolding. The narrative scaffold is organized with number 1, the orientation, which defines who is in the story, when it is happening, where it is happening, and what is going on with the story. First of all, who is in the story? This story is mainly focused on two characters, Clay Jensen and Hannah Baker. Where did it happen? Most of the events narrated by Hannah were in the school, which was a new territory for her. When did it happen? This paragraph says that one of the events happened 2 years ago when Hannah was in freshman year. However, she took her life a few weeks before Clay started listening to the audio tapes, so this story currently happened in junior year of high school. What was going on? A mysterious package which contained 7 audio tapes was sent towards Clay Jensen, a high school student. Those audio tapes are narrated by Hannah Baker, who tells her motives of why she took her own life. Now we are going to analyze the complications of the story. The complications are a chain of events that will affect one or more characters during the story. One of the complications that we can appreciate is the disconcert of Clay Jensen about the package, declaring that there might be a mistake or a joke that the package was for him. Another complication throughout the story is the disconcert of what the audio tapes will say about Clay Jensen. Hannah Baker stated that if someone had access to the audio tapes, it was because that person is one of the reasons why she took her own life.
The sequence of events refers to how the characters react to the complication. First of all, Clay Jensen is concerned about the audio tapes he finds outside his door. Subsequently, he listens to all the audio tapes and follows all the instructions that Hannah Baker stated in the recordings, which were that after he finished listening to the tapes, he had to send the audio tapes to the next person mentioned after him. Finally, he finishes listening to all the recordings and sends the audio tapes to the next person. Then we have the resolution, which consists of when the complication is sorted out or when the problem is solved. In this case, the resolution is when Clay finds out why the audio tapes were sent to him, and after that, he changed his point of view of all the people involved in the same situation.
Now, we're going to analyze the grammatical features of the story. This novel is written in first person and is narrated by a non-fictional narrator. In this case, the narrator is Clay Jensen, who tells the story from his own perspective while he is listening to the Hannah recordings. This novel contains several dynamic verbs to express actions of movements, processes, and changes. Some examples of dynamic verbs in the story are roll, I rolled the 3 tapes, slip, I slipped this tape, and becomes, this struggle becomes too much. This story also contains descriptive adjectives to indicate different qualities. One of the evidence of a descriptive adjective in the text is the following: a dark green metal bench. This novel has the presence of adverbials to connect ideas. For example, the adverb of time, after, to express the adverbial clause. After storing the plastic tubs beneath the counter, the man unscrews the top to a dozen salt and pepper shakers. Pay no attention to me. There are also specific nouns to identify specific characters and places, which is the case of Tyler, Jessica, Hannah, and the Cresmonds.
Regarding recurrence rules, in the text there are rules such as repetition, which corresponds to the constant appearance of a word in different parts of the text. In this case, the expression I wanted has a repetition in the same paragraph several times. The lexical substitution is in charge of a substitution of one element for another. Those elements can be synonyms, hypernyms, and hyponyms. In this example, the hypernym Cresmont is then mentioned as hyponyms such as his walls, his neon lights, etc. The elision is the emission of the subject in compound sentences. Here are 2 examples in the same paragraph of elision. I lift my backpack over my shoulder and walk to the front of the bus. I thank the driver and return to the cold air outside. And finally, there is evidence that this novel also contains a reference, the relationship of 2 words that are referring to the same element. This paragraph first mentions a crowd of students, which then by the context, it is correct to affirm that the word everyone is referring to the same crowd of students. For progression patterns, the one that predominates the most during the events of the novel is the zigzag thematic pattern, which consists of the element introduced as a rhyme in the first sentence that then becomes the theme of the next sentence. In the example, the rhyme referring to a note then becomes the theme of the next sentence. The same happens with the word pretending in the second example.
For connectivity rules, there are implicit connections, such as the question mark, which in this example express a confusion. Finally, there are also explicit connections in this text. In this example, the subordinator if acts as an expression of condition. If Hannah's name and number had shown up on my list, would I have called her?
We hope you learned something new and enjoyed the video. Thanks for watching.